You know what that means, right?
What? Somebody
When your
talking about
nose
me? What?
when your nose itches, you're gonna kiss a fool.
Again? What? Well, hell, it's
Okay.
COVID. What you
Oh,
know what?
okay.
I've quarantined since March. Come on.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to What You Need to Know. Did you need to know that about the
And probably not.
if you know his issues and how Myra J has been quarantined since March without any so
Yeah, fill in the blank. Everything works. There are no wrong answers, people. Okay.
how are you today, Myra?
I'm doing fine, Sybil. How are you?
I'm okay, doing okay, getting over the hump. Just a lot going on, as you know, in the
Yeah.
world,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
trying to get ready for Tuesday. Are you going to do anything on Tuesday in terms of going out and do you have a plan to maybe help people or to guide people towards an
I, I
election
had
place?
I had talked about possibly passing out water.
Hmm.
I have another obligation that I'm hoping will be done by Tuesday, and
Hmm.
and that's why I can't make a major commitment yet.
Gotcha,
Hmm.
gotcha. Okay, well, if you want to be one of those people, say, "Oh, I got that thing,"
Yeah.
and you don't. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I can't imagine anybody who is not as engaged as you are, especially in all of this and in this time. So,
Oh,
um, I just I can't believe that it's been all of this time that we've been working towards this, and now we're less than a week away from the
yeah,
end of this season. I mean, it's like we've been on this horse race,
yeah.
and more like a marathon or a horse, long extended horse race.
Hmm.
And now we're starting to see the end, but what is that end going to look like?
It's kind of like being in a relay race, and we're in the last lap, and you got your fastest runner, and you see
Hmm.
the finish line, but when you get to the finish line, it's quicksand, confetti, just all kind of stuff that's waiting
What will
down
we
there.
find at that
Yes,
finish line? Wow.
yes, 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 yes.
I know the numbers are favorable for one over another. I just, think
We're all
about,
just holding our breath.
yeah, I think about
Hmm.
4 years ago and just wonder, will the same thing, happen? Ta-da! And how that will look like and how quickly can I pack if the same thing happens again. Uh, so it is Wednesday, and Myra J. and Stephen Hill. Stephen Hill is out of town and may still be celebrating his Monday birthday. So
I'm like, so he's somewhere where they don't have the internet?
he's got the internet.
He
Yes,
has
he
the
does.
internet. All right.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
here's to
yes.
you, Stephen Hill. Enjoy your
Okay,
birthday, whatever you're
okay,
doing. So
okay.
busy you can't come hang with your friends.
That's right. That's
Our
okay.
feelings ain't hurt.
Uh-uh. No, we're good. We're good.
We're good.
How are you feeling about the elections in Georgia? I know that I talk to somebody at least once a day from Georgia and talk about the things that are important to them in terms of the elections. How are you feeling?
I feel really, really good. Um, Reverend Warnock, who's running for senator, has a strong lead. We know he will be one of the two finalists. My hope is because it's a three-way race, and we
Hmm.
know somebody has to be over 50%, and I think right now he's at 40 something percent. He's in the
Hmm.
lead, but the other two people are Republicans, and
Hmm.
so that's what scares me. In that, even if he's one of the finalists, you still have like 60% of the people who voted Republican as opposed to him. But I'm just thinking, if we can just come out and vote, and he gets like 52 or 53% of the vote,
That would be it.
girl,
It'd
when
be
I
over.
tell you, I will buck dance up and down Peachtree Street
Naked.
naked, naked. That'll learn you.
So Myra, I know that Kelly Loeffler is the second Republican. She's the current senator, holds that spot right now, and Doug Collins is a U.S. congressman, also a Republican. Do you think they might cancel each other out?
That's 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 why they're at like whatever they are, 20 something and 30 something percent.
Mm-hmm.
And they are vicious. I mean, they are going
Yeah. Well,
for the
he's
jugular.
ambitious. I don't know what her record is. I just know her recently since she became the senator and how her basketball team doesn't
Yeah,
like.
yeah, not at all.
But Collins has always been a vicious guy, and I think he's got a point to prove because he wasn't selected
Right.
as to fill that seat initially when Isaacson
Hmm.
retired because
Johnny
of his health.
Isaacson, yes.
So I'm just really curious. And here's the other thing: is there any kind of discussion amongst the other 20 candidates? in which just boggles the mind. But are you hearing any discussion about any of the other 20 candidates getting out
Conceding?
of the
No,
race? Yes,
no.
and that
Which
is
is
the most selfish
so
thing I've ever
crazy
heard.
to me because if the other 17 or however many it is were to at least consolidate and say, let's take our 2 or 3% and put it behind Warnock, then that's going to push him another 3 points. I mean, he's so close. He's in the mid 40s. He's in the
Hmm.
mid 40s. And
Right.
I don't know any of those people personally, but I just think it's selfish. I really do. When you're at like 0.2% a week before the race, you're not going to win. What makes your agenda so strong? No,
So
I'm just going to,
compelling, you have to
right,
stay in this
right.
race.
I'm going
What
to
do you
stay in
have
here,
that people
just to
don't
prove
know
a
about?
point.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
It's
crazy, crazy, crazy.
it boggles the mind, and the only thing we can hope for is maybe that there's some pictures somewhere of some of these people who get out. But I don't
Well, but between Warnock and John Ossoff,
know.
we may get a Democratic senator. We
Hmm.
don't have representation on the Democratic side in the Senate here in Georgia, and haven't had it. And trust me, there are so many Georgians who are so proud of that. They
Yeah,
don't want it.
in the
They
state
don't
of
want.
Texas too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they just don't want us there, and it's so important for people to get out and vote. I don't even want to say it anymore because I'm like, hell, if you ain't figured out by now that you're supposed to get out and vote, I don't even know what kind of conversation we could have at this point.
and that was the other thing, young women, and I keep going back to this, but I can't get it out of my head. Last week on MSNBC, there was a segment, and these young black women said that they had not quite decided, and that they were still not feeling Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, especially as a black woman. They were talking about the crime bill and
Hmm.
also Kamala Harris's history working as a prosecutor and what have you. And so, but I can't imagine. And we just did a story today, and it's going to be in tomorrow's newsletter about how black people some black people are really feeling Donald Trump. And 13% of his electorate in 2016 were black men. 13% of the black men voted for Donald Trump, and there are a lot of young people, especially, who like his swagger, who like his stance, not on things that are of consequence in our lives, like Black Lives Matter and things. But they like him, and at least that's what they're telling the pollsters. And so.
Well, I find it very frustrating in people who like Trump because they when you bring up things that he's said about black people, other minorities, women, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter. Well, what matters? The
It
economy.
does. Yeah.
It can't just be about money. We've had a great economy before,
Yeah.
period. And chances are the people who are saying the economy ain't ballers other than
Right.
50.
Right. Right.
Okay, it's absolutely crazy. And the little, what's the two little girls that they are little girls, they are black women. Um, Silk and polyester, what's their name?
Oh, diamond and silk.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Uh, I I just know these people are getting paid under
Mhm.
the table. And I'm like, he's using you. Did you hear about after his rally in Nebraska last night, the
We're
people
going to
who were
talk about
left
that.
out in
Yeah.
the cold.
How
Oh my
poor
God.
planning, the buses that they claimed that they were going to use to shuttle people back and forth between parking and the outdoor rally in Nebraska, in Omaha, right? And so they their plan didn't work. And so Donald Trump did his, he did his rah-rah routine. He got on his plane and flew away. These people were stranded for hours after, right? And so much so that some people had to be hospitalized with
Yes.
hypothermia. I heard another report, and I did not verify that, but I did hear about the hypothermia. I did verify that, but also pneumonia. Some people
See?
reportedly have got pneumonia as a result of this. So and of course, Joe Biden had made note of it today, but that is another example of how people are not being cared for. Just like with 200 and over 225,000 people have died, and Donald Trump is saying, and November 4th, it's going to be gone. Nobody's going to care
Yeah.
about
Yeah. He said after November 4th, we're not going to be talking about COVID anymore. Just like it's poof, yeah, it's gone. And then they also reported today that the White House administration is putting up for one of the things that he accomplished was that they got rid of the
it.
coronavirus.
Right.
They got rid
And
of it.
and
Like
we're,
it's
we're
just not
now
here because they don't
in
want it to be here.
we're in a more almost as major, if not more, of a shutdown now than we were when this all started. You know what I mean? Because now in our home state of Illinois, all of the restaurants are having to close down, the bars, everything, and there's concern about if you have this much room and you can have people in, but these people can't make a living, and as well as school in, school out, school in, school out. People are and still haven't come back to their jobs that they lost.
And and that's like when you talk about people who say, oh well, Biden. Oh my God, if one more person tries to tell me on Facebook, well, back in 77, Biden said, you know what?
Okay, let us all think about what we said 40, 50 years
Thank
ago.
you. No one is perfect. This is just what I've asked every last one of them. Well, who would you vote for?
Right. What
And
would it
now
take?
let's check their background.
Yeah.
Let's check
Yeah.
their background. Nobody's perfect. Okay, he effed up 30, 40 years ago. What is he doing now? What
And
has he
here's
done the
the
last 10 years?
yes. And Myra, think about this. Not what Donald Trump said or did in 1977, but what about what he said in 2017, 18, 19 while he was president, including the Emancipated Five,
Yep.
about those young men in his city of New York who were found not guilty, and he's still. So what about things like that and the way that he treats Black people and making Black Lives Matter into a terrorist organization,
Yes.
and talk
Yes.
and connecting them with the looters and the demonstrators and things like that? Demonstrating is one thing, looting is completely different. We are not
Yes.
talking about the same thing,
Right.
and we are definitely not talking about your endorsement of police unions and police departments that do not have a problem with chokeholds or shooting Black men and women.
Okay. Okay. It look, he's a racist. Period. No, we don't have to dilly dally about call it what it is. A duck is a duck is a duck. He's a freaking racist. And so many times when I watch the news, remember in the beginning when he was running and they were saying, well, maybe after he gets elected, he'll become more presidential. And then when he first started, well, he's new in the office, and maybe after he gets into it, he'll be more presidential. And then midway through, well, really don't pay attention to his words. Pay attention.
Look over here.
Right. How the hell am I not gonna pay attention to his words? Do you think I'm an idiot?
Because his
Don't listen
actions,
to what he's saying to me.
right, right.
So no, he
He's
the
done.
whole
And you know what? He's done his job. He has put all of these conservatives into federal judgeships, three on the Supreme Court now, hundreds on the federal
federal.
judge level, and now his work is done. He really,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could really just go away
Yep.
because these people have jobs for life, and it will change the color, the tenor, and the texture
The
of this.
fabric of America. Yep,
That's right.
absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And for so many people who are sitting back going, I'm not voting. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't affect me. Watch what happens 4, 5, 6 years down the line when freedoms we had are taken away
We're
and
already
things.
we are
Yep.
so close to getting
Yep.
there. Yep. Yeah.
Things that are brought to the Supreme Court are shot down. And then
Mhm.
you're sitting back like, what? That's not right. Well,
Right.
guess what? You should have voted. You
Yeah.
should have voted.
Yeah. And if you didn't learn that in 16, I don't know if that lesson can be made any clearer in 2020. Our friend Michael Stallworth says that Reverend Warnock needs nearly 30% of the white voters. Stacey Abrams only got 35%. So he needs less. He needs nearly 30%.
She only had 25%.
Oh, 25%. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Thank you,
So
Michael.
thank you, Michael. So yeah, and those numbers, I know they're crunching those numbers
Oh
now. Like,
yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's so close. And here's the cool part. One, because he hasn't been in politics,
Mm-hmm.
although he has been an activist, and
Activist,
he's a
yeah.
reverend. So they aren't coming at him. They're going at each other. And
Mhm.
I just sit back and go, ooh, white
And
folks
so he's
fighting.
just like sitting there and going,
I
okay,
said,
all right, I'm
look
good.
at here.
I'm good.
White
Yeah.
people talking about each other. This is so funny to me.
That's funny. That's
Yeah.
very funny.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think your Senate races are probably amongst the more interesting. Purdue, as we just mentioned him parenthetically, but as you said, John Ossoff. John Ossoff tried to run for, or not did not try. He did run for Congress a couple of
Mhm.
years ago in an election there and did not win, but came very close. And now he is running for the United States Senate, which reminds me of Beto O'Rourke, who ran for the
Mhm.
Senate in
Mhm.
Texas, and then he didn't lose, he didn't win that, so he decided to run for president. I was thinking maybe a little more incrementally,
Go right.
but I don't think like that. So. But anyway, good luck for John Ossoff because he's very close, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and David Perdue is not doing himself any favors, including not being able to pronounce the name of a woman that he's worked in the Senate with for the last 3 years.
Well, I just said, since you have a problem with saying that, try saying Madam Vice President.
Hello.
Say
Exactly.
say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's see how that works for you. All right. So speaking of, the other thing we're talking about Black folks that are endorsing. Today on The View, the comedian Chelsea Handler was on,
Mm.
and she said, and she is a former girlfriend of 50 Cent. They had a thing for a few
Oh,
months.
that's right. That's right. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
So they went back and forth on social media about his support of Donald Trump because of the taxes. She said, "I will pay your taxes if you promise."
Wow.
Well, apparently that's not legal. But anyway, she said they have talked, and he has said that he was just kidding. That he is a Biden supporter. I don't know if Biden wants him now. I'm not even speaking for Biden. But and then I was going back and forth with John and Sherry and Kim, and John was saying that he was stunting, that it was just he was just trying to just flex a little bit. But I say that he really did endorse him, and this was really, but now he's backing
I
off
do too. I do too.
because of the response that he got.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The backlash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because think about it. It's here's a guy, from the hood, blah 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 blah. Been, he done caught several bullets and everything. So
Right.
and you have survived. You have made it. You have basically crossed over. You don't have to do another concert in your life.
Hmm.
And now you're gonna stand up and say, "I'm with this guy just because of the tax break that I'm getting."
Yeah.
With all the people, with all the levels you've had to come up, and your
Hmm.
whole life and your whole rap and the whole thing is all about the come up, and I'm gonna come up, and then you come up and leave everybody else. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't know these people. Like you never had those struggles. That's cold.
That's cold. That's a cold piece.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll see what I'm, and if people want to weigh in on that, please do. This is the first story we had on what you need to know about the royal son-in-law, Jared Kushner, dismissing Black inequality as complaining. He was asked in an interview on Fox and Friends about the things that we've seen in the Black community, which is mostly Democrat, is that President Trump's policies are the policies that can help people break out of the problems they're complaining about, but he can't want them to be successful more than they want to be successful. This is a trope that's been going on for years. I can't want this any more than you. You have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, you know what?
We don't even have
You
shoes.
don't have the boots, let alone shoes,
I
to do
drink ice water to cool my tongue before I speak.
that.
So, little privileged white boy who married into I don't even want to say money. I'll say married into fraud. Your
Okay.
your your frauder-in-law.
Hmm.
Uh, it's it, you can't speak for us. You don't know us, and you don't even relate to us, and you don't understand. That's what gets me when people just say, "Well, why don't they just go out there and get a job?" Well, that's like saying, "Well, why don't you just go out and buy a plane?" There are
Right.
so there are so many obstacles and so many levels we have to go through, and you don't get it. The White House doesn't get it. So I just feel like you know what, Jared, just go pack.
Hmm.
Shut
Yeah.
up and pack.
And go back to your to being the slumlord that we know that you are.
Thank,
Speaking of dealing with Black people and helping them
thank
pull
you.
up by their
Thank you.
bootstraps. Yeah.
Thank you.
Which is pretty ridiculous. There's still this Ice Cube thing is still going around as to who he spoke to and what their reaction was, and now apparently he's going back and forth with one of the leading congressmen, Cedric Richmond of Louisiana, about what was said, and so hopefully we'll get to the bottom of that. But this whole thing with Cube and Fiddy and Kanye and coming in, the relationships that they've tried to develop with Donald Trump and all of this is just
Well,
ridiculous.
you know what? To to be honest, they don't have to stay in their lane.
Mhm.
You can be a rapper
Oh
and
yeah.
still be an activist. I'm not knocking that. I just think that when you come forth as an activist saying that you're representing Black people or whoever,
Hmm.
you you need to have some backup.
Right.
Where are
Right.
your statistics? Where are your experts? Where's your team that you put together in economy and health and all this to say this is the problem, this is what we need, and this is how we need to get there? That's 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 the big issue. And Kanye just need to go to take his medication. I'm over him. Period. Just go
And
somewhere and sit down.
that's our homeboy from the South Side of Chicago, Myra.
Well, everybody from Chicago, God bless us. Everybody ain't right in the head. We know this. Everybody in
Yeah,
Chicago knows this.
that's
And
true.
yes, South
That's
or
true.
West Side, it don't matter. We got crazy on both sides.
That's right. That's right. You're right. When you
Both
write, you write, Myra. The musings of Myra J are quite on point. Another tragic shooting, this time
Mm,
in Philadelphia. This happened Monday afternoon. Of course, this is the shooting of the young man who was carrying a knife, was waving a knife around. His mother and his family called 911 to get ambulance help because he
mhm,
was in the midst of some sort of mental, I don't want to call it breakdown, but he was having a crisis.
mhm,
And so he is a man who does have mental health issues. He is on medication. His mother is seen in the video trying to hold her son back from the police. It was not the ambulance that came, it was the police. And she's seen on video holding her boy, holding her boy. He breaks away, and then the police say, "Drop the weapon, drop the knife, drop, drop, drop." He did not drop, and they shot, shot, shot.
Yeah, 14 times.
Walter Wallace Jr.,
Hmm.
right? And 27 years old. Um, and as a result of this, his family, has asked for peace in the community. Unfortunately, they started with demonstrating in front of the police precinct Monday night, and that spread to demonstrations and looting. Some say some arson. The first night, some 30 people were wounded. Police officers were wounded. Some 30 people were arrested for their actions. A second night, and now police say that 72 people have been arrested and 53 officers injured after this unrest for a second night across the city. I
I,
know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh no, I have not seen the video. I've only heard the news story. Um, what what seems so tragic to me is that not only did the mother witness it, but she knew her son was in the middle of something, and
Hmm.
that he didn't need police officers. He needed help. You know, he needed for some
Hmm.
he needed hospitalization, and this is just very sad, and to me I don't understand why they didn't have tasers. They
That's
are
what,
reporting that the reason that the police shot him was that two police officers, neither one of them had a taser.
right, right. And the other part of this story is that, people talk about having someone from human services, perhaps a mental health official, expert, to be there with the police to go in on the cases like this. And they said they do, that Philadelphia is one of the cities that has initiated this. However, this person was off that day.
Oh, wow. Wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. So it's just tragic. It's all kinds of tragic, that a man in the midst of a mental health crisis, they were unable to de-escalate the
Yeah,
situation,
yeah.
and like you said, tasers. But and I get it. I know police officers, people affiliated with police officers say they don't shoot to wound, they shoot to kill.
Hmm.
That's still, it's it just breaks my heart that that's
That
what we have
right.
here.
That
It's just,
is
it's
that
not
is their
realistic
first
for me.
step. You,
Yeah,
you know, there needs to be another step, especially in those situations. If they're saying someone is having a mental health crisis, you don't come with guns ablazing.
right.
That's just common sense to me. Common sense.
I just, we can argue until the next presidential election. I just can't get past that shooting to kill, as opposed. And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. This was in broad
Daylight.
daylight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know that as quickly as someone can lunge towards you, you can see it. It's not in a neighborhood where it's dark. There are no street lights, in a dark alley. All of that kind of stuff that can take place. This was middle of Monday afternoon. They could see him. They had their weapons drawn, but there had to be a way. There had to have been some sort of conversation in the wake of all these things that have happened in order
Yes.
to help them think about de-escalating the situation, bringing it down.
And where were the ambulances? They said that they had called and called. Where was the ambulance?
Yeah,
Sad.
it's
The,
just, it's all kinds of sad. And um, but this isn't the first story that we've heard recently, of people being killed by police. Obviously, in Illinois, in Waukegan, we had the case with the young
mhm.
man who was killed, and he's sitting in the car with his girlfriend, And she is saying now that he was not dead when they covered his body.
Mm, mm, mm.
Um, he's 19, she's
Yeah.
20.
Hmm.
She was seriously wounded, and that's going to take a lot of investigating in that case as well. Okay. I don't want to keep going on these all these horrific stories, but one light moment, and this is as a result of COVID. I'm really distressed that the World Series was right down the road from where I am living. The World
Oh,
Series, and him well, the tickets were like $1,000 a piece, but
really?
yeah, yeah, for like the six people that could get in.
What I was about to say.
Yeah, because everything was socially distanced, and in a situation like that, there's not a bad seat in the house. Um, but the Dodgers were in Arlington, Texas, at a stadium that the Rangers really never got a chance to use. And they didn't do. I'm telling you, Myra, this was going to be their inaugural year with this new stadium, and there was nothing wrong with the old stadium, by the way.
Hello,
Which
Falcons. Okay. Be careful what you ask for. That's all I'm saying. We're going to get a new stadium. Okay. You want to work on
that'll
that
make us
team
play
before you
better.
can do that? Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So the Dodgers beat Tampa Bay last night
Mhm.
and won the World Series for the first time since 1988. That's starting to sound a little Chicago Cubs like. But they won. But here's the crazy thing, and this is coronavirus related as well. They had a player who had an inconclusive test earlier. They tested him again. When they got the results, it was in the middle of the
The,
game.
the
They
eighth
pulled,
inning. Yeah.
they pulled him from the game. They went out and continued to win, and then he came out with his nasty, cruddy coronavirus self.
When I tell you I would have strong armed that dude, like, hey, hold up. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. From the dugout,
Yes,
dude. I'm
yeah, yeah.
calling you from the
Do your
dugout.
own wave. Do your happy dance, but by yourself. He was there with his girlfriend celebrating with them. I
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
once again we're talking about some selfish people because that just doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah.
You want to celebrate with your team, and yeah, I'm sorry, but no, you can't. You just can't.
Well,
Can
you're
you?
right. You can't. No. I'm just trying to think. Once to me, once he knew, once that they said he tested positive, I'm thinking, shouldn't they have had like a little cage for him on the side? How was he allowed?
Put him in a bubble or
Right,
something.
right.
Roll him out
Roll him out. Right. Spray him down with some
and put him
microban
in
and some
quarantine
Lysol.
for
Yeah,
14
but
days.
I'm like, who was responsible for letting old boy just run out there on the field like that? Where was the medic? Should, don't they have a doctor or somebody when they get knocked in the
Yes.
head? The
And,
doctor was
and
supposed to, snatch him back and go, uh-uh.
Major League Baseball is like, well, that's, okay, it wasn't supposed to happen. No.
So now, do the Dodgers have to quarantine for 2 weeks before they can go home?
They probably, I'm not sure about, you know what? I think that they probably jetted before anybody could say anything. I think that they got on a plane and headed back to Los Angeles so that they don't have to, so they don't have to stay in Texas. And I'm not saying anything about the great state of Texas. I live here, but I think if somebody was thinking the way I think that they think, that they said, oh no, this isn't good. Everybody on the plane, on the plane, on the plane, and they got them out of there.
Well, when they get back to LA, don't they have to sit their
But it's
behinds down and
different.
quarantine?
Yeah, but it's different quarantining once you're at home as opposed to another
Yeah,
2 weeks here. You've already been away from home for how many weeks?
yeah.
Um, so I think that and it's like a lot of guys will tell you, it's better to apologize, than to have to ask for permission. And
Yeah.
so,
Well, that's a whole nother show right there. Every now
so
and then asking would have been nice,
yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah. Is it okay if we just get them out? We promise we'll quarantine them, but can we get out of here? That is but here it is, and this is in the midst of this surge, and they say that Johns Hopkins University has said the average deaths per day across the country are up 10% over the past 2 weeks. Newly confirmed infections per day are rising in 47 states. I heard 49, with the exception of Hawaii, George Wallace, and deaths are increasing in 34 states. And
Wow.
this is from, the Johns Hopkins, not from the White House, who says that this is all going to
Oh
go
yeah.
away by
Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Myra, neither
Yes.
you nor I can't speak for you. I've never lived in the state of Alabama. Of course, we've traveled there. We've been
Hmm.
there in a number of wonderful cities there. But did you know that in the year 2020, the state of Alabama is putting on the ballot, giving Alabama citizens an opportunity to get racism out of the U.S. Constitution?
Wait, they just realized it was there? What?
They've been trying. They've been trying for the third time since 2000. They have the chance to remove racist language from the 119-year-old Constitution. Even though segregation has been illegal for decades nationwide, voters in majority white and conservative Alabama have chosen to keep the language of racism embedded in white supremacy embedded into state law. The bipartisan legislation called Amendment 4 would do away with language that bans mixed race marriages, allows poll taxes, and mandates school segregation. Now,
Um,
I shouldn't be laughing at this, but it's just so ridiculous. Tom Joyner, Mr. Alabama, what?
I,
It's still there.
where is Alabama on the education scale as far as our schools and everything? I'm
I know
just
Mississippi is probably the worst, but I'm not sure. Maybe our crew can find out where they rank in terms of education in amongst the 50 states.
well, once again, Bama, vote. That's all I can say. Just vote. If this does not encourage you to vote, get out there because oh my gosh.
So get this, Myra. This is also a part of the story. In 2004, opponents to changing the Constitution claimed doing so would result in a tax increase. If they vote to okay the legislation and get rid of this racist language in the Constitution, a final version of the new Constitution will have to be approved by lawmakers. So that's another step, right? So the voters vote, say, okay, get rid of the racist language. Then the lawmakers have to approve it, and then in another statewide vote in 2022. I
Well,
mean, all of these hurdles are just so ridiculous.
it reminds me of when I went away to college. I did not go to an HBCU. I wanted to. My mama wasn't having it, but whatever. And there was a there was a I went to Illinois State in Normal, Illinois, little
Hear the
teeny
bird.
tiny, yep, teeny tiny town, and that we had to protest to get the movie Woodstock shown. We had to actually protest, and they literally was like, no, because it would make us wild and crazy. We had to protest to get a bowling alley. It was written in the ordinance that a bowling alley was a place for people to congregate and make sin. We were going to make the sin on lane 2, apparently, between the spare and the strike. Something was going to go down other than that bowling ball. But that's what it reminds me of. You could downtown was 1 block long,
Uh-huh.
and you could not park your car at a hitching post. This, and This is where I this is where I went to school, y'all. So don't blame me if I'm barely educated. Okay, this is where I paid money to go to college. Okay, that was the
Myra,
mind. That was the mindset. That was
that,
the mindset. And we sneaked to see the movie. It was a bunch of us, and we sneaked in because somebody had the movie Reefer Madness. Because that was
oh,
like, I'm like,
that was,
oh no, you can't see
that was
this.
far worse than Woodstock.
Woodstock. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But when you look back on it, it's like this stuff is so archaic. It's so barbaric. It's like, people, why are we even talking about this? Why
Right,
is this still on the books?
right.
That's just how I feel about it. Why is
So,
this still on the books?
so for people who may not know, Woodstock was one of those movies that was made about Woodstock Music Festival
Mm-hmm.
that took place in upstate New York
I
in
think
the
it was.
60s, right? And
Yeah.
it was a weekend or week, it was a period of time of absolute craziest rock music with some of the biggest rock stars of that
Yeah.
time.
Janis
Uh,
Joplin, Jimi Hendrix,
right,
Santana. Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
And they performed and it was a field. It was like a farm. It was just
Mm-hmm.
barren land of just primarily drunk and high white people,
Yeah.
just living free love and all
It
of
was
that kind
all about peace and love. It was the peace and love era, and it was just this big music festival, and it poured freaking
of. Right,
rain,
right.
and
That
people
was the
got
other thing.
muddy, and it
So
was
you had
messy.
dirty, drunk, and high teenagers and young adults having sex and just going
and
crazy
and and
in the
making
field
sin and
next to the,
psychedelics.
yeah, yeah, with all the kinds of drugs that they were privy to.
It was the
Uh,
60s.
and what do we say now? It was the 2020s. What?
It was 2020.
Oh dear God.
We're in that era where nothing surprised me. So Alabama, this is on your book. I'm gonna blame it on 2020, but if it's still on there in 2021, you're on your own. You're on your own. We're gonna talk about you real bad, okay?
Um, Myra, people are commenting on your choice, your mother's choice of schools to send you to. Um, Donna
Oh
said,
shoot, I would have been working at the post office if it was up to my
Donna said your mama chose to send you to Illinois State, and that's why your mama sent you to Illinois State, because how far back I guess in history they were with the hitching post and not allowing movies and things like. But and Myra, I'm not gonna say this is true for you, although I suspect that it is.
Uh-oh.
When you are put in a position like that in a city that has almost no electricity or there are no drugs or no alcohol, doesn't that make you prone to do it and seek it even more?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. And you don't have
Absolutely.
to go any further in that in our conversation, but I'm just wondering. And Dr. K Woods on YouTube says, "You were a slave, Myra, and didn't even."
Well, this is how far back it was. I'm born and raised on the south side of Chicago. I'm a Cook County baby. I go away to
Problem.
college, go away 2 hours from Chicago in this little teeny tiny town. I ain't never been around this many white people in my life. I'm in culture shock. The next city over was Bloomington. It was Normal, Bloomington, Twin Cities. They said Normal was a dry town.
Mhm.
My little behind honestly thought, I said, well, how they grow all this corn if it don't rain? I really did. I never heard of a dry town because in Chicago you can drink
Not from the
24/7.
south side of Chicago.
Really? I was
Prohibition
like,
didn't even take place in Prohibition era in Chicago.
that's right, dry town. But once you cross the border, the city line into Bloomington, the first thing
Uh-huh.
there, it was this national liquor store. It was this huge liquor store. So all you did was just drive up the street, get your liquor, and bring it back. But it was such a little backwards town. I swear it was like living in the Twilight Zone. I had never experienced anything like, and they had this big cornfield right outside of my adornment, I honestly thought, I'm like, I know that's where they filmed the Children of the Corn. I just I just knew ghosts and goblins and voodoo people walked around out there in the corn in the middle of the night, because the whole thing was such a surreal experience for me, going away to school there.
I just went down the road to Northwestern in Evanston, and it was a dry town because that was the home of the Women's Christian Temperance Union,
Oh my
and
gosh. I'm
so that
sorry.
meant they uh, Evanston was dry for the longest time.
I did not know that. Do
And
you
I
know how
thought
many
that was
drunk people I knew from Evanston? They went to Illinois State.
Dr. K. Woods also says that Alabama is in the bottom 5 in education,
That's what I figured.
as a part of your question, Myra.
Thank you so
Um,
much, Doctor.
let's see. Michelle Lynn Summerall says, thank you so much for your support. Hopefully, your girlfriend has subscribed. No, this is first. Okay, I need a one and a two. Michelle shared that she had to go off on a girlfriend for not having subscribed. Oh,
Oh,
I hope that you. So this is where the second card comes in. Thank you for your support, Michelle, and hopefully your girlfriend has subscribed. Or just go ahead and send her name and email address in
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
com.
Just sign people up.
Yeah,
Tell them it's
yeah.
a Christmas present.
And can I just give a shout out? I know my brother's not watching, but he has now designated himself as the top salesman for what you need to know. He told me that today, that he has designated himself as our top salesman and getting people to subscribe to the What You Need to Know newsletter. So, George Wilkes, I love you and I thank you very much. And
Oh,
really appreciate that. Um, Tomorrow, Myra, what a show. And you know how Tom used to always say, we have a 10-pound show in a 5-pound bag?
mm-hmm.
Um, we got a 20-pound show in a 1-pound bag. Tomorrow, George Wallace, Thursday. Jamie Harrison,
Ah, yes, yes, yes,
candidate
yes,
for the United States Senate for the great state of South Carolina, will be with
yes.
us. Judith Brown Deannis will be here to talk about, she's the executive director of the Advancement Project. She is going to be talking about voter suppression. And
Uh-oh.
uh, Jesse Williams will be with us. Jesse Williams, the
Beautiful chest.
activist
At the acting, yes.
and actor from Grey's Anatomy. I'll
Yes.
be here with Judith
Yes.
Brown. We thank you for joining us today. And Stephen Hill, wherever you are, whoever you're with,
Mm.
player, I hope you're enjoying yourself. And everybody deserves a day off. So you've earned it. And I thank you for coming on, Myra, and sticking with me today. And tomorrow, George Wallace, get ready. I know George is probably going to sleep right now. So
Hey, Sybil, can I just ask you
of course.
real quick, because people have asked me not to push too far ahead, but on election night, are
Mhm.
you going to do a special show, expanded show? Should people start telling people about it now? Like,
Thanks
what's?
for asking, Myra.
You're welcome.
Because yes, we are going to be doing something. I'm going to be out all day. They have me going around. I don't even know if it's around Texas, but around the area to see what people are doing and how they're faring in the lines and things. And
Okay.
I'm going to be going on Instagram Live with my friends who are also in various parts of the country, and whatever they decide to do, and how they, whatever plans they have to go and help people as they're going to vote. Like our friend Stephen Hill, I'm not sure if he's going from where he is now to Ohio, but he's going to be there in Ohio, an important
Okay.
state, with his family to help people go to vote. That's just as an example. So I'm going to do that during the day, and then that night, we're not sure about the 6 o'clock show or 7 where
Okay.
you are, but
Okay.
definitely as the polling places close down, we will start to have conversation with all of us and having we got to have a really big round table to our friends come on and have people contribute to the conversation. So yes, and Myra, that includes you, in case Yolanda hasn't mentioned it to you yet. We invite you to
And
that.
and
But yeah,
then next Wednesday we can have the celebration show. Yes.
yeah, Yeah, and Lord knows we could use it. Lord
For
knows.
real.
I know,
For
I
real,
know.
for real.
So we'll be tipping whatever our adult beverage of choice is come Wednesday, or
Yes.
else we'll be going. I hang in,
What?
champ.
Right. No, don't even put it out there. Don't even put it out there. Wait, because we'll both be packing.
I know, right? Right? Exactly.
Oh gosh.
So don't forget, next Wednesday, Myra and Stephen Hill will be here on the day after. Tuesday night, we will be having a special post-election show. And tomorrow, U.S. Senate candidate, Jamie
Kimmy
Harrison,
Harrison.
South Carolina. It's at the top of the show. I think they're even trying to get us to go right before the time we normally come on because he has a very small window
Small
to
window. Okay,
talk
that's
with
good
us.
to know. Spread the word, you guys.
Please, thank you, Myra.
You're
And
welcome.
please continue to spread the word about the What You Need to Know newsletter. Please go to SybilWilkes.com, sign up, give us your name and your email address. We'll have that in your email box, first thing each Monday through Friday morning, as well as the What You Need to Know show here on YouTube. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Thanks so
Okay.
much, Myra. I so
Okay.
appreciate it. It's fun
Okay.
as always. You always
Okay.
make me laugh.
Oh, thank you. Prayers out to New Orleans and everybody in the Gulf. Be safe.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's Zeta
Yeah.
hit this afternoon
Yeah.
on southeast Louisiana. So, yes, definitely prayers out to you. Thank
Yep.
you for reminding us of that, Myra.
Okay.
Okay, you guys, prayers and please be safe. Wear your mask, wash your hands, and stay away from people. You can celebrate some other time.
All right.